back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, in celebration of Juneteenth, I actually want to give you guys some books that everyone could read, meaning I have some books for little kids, some books for like middle grade, and then obviously adults. And I have one honorable mention. So let's just get started. So for the first one is a children's book. It's called Almost to Freedom. This is about a young girl. She is obviously her family are going to escape and clearly use the Underground Railroad to do that. And she takes this doll. This doll is like her like pride and joy, and it basically just navigates her. You know, it makes her kind of feel better. It's like a comfort, piece. And I just adore this story. The author actually was inspired to write this when she went to a museum, and there were some, like, in some hideaway spots on within the Underground Railroad, there were some dolls that obviously were left, and some historians were able to, find them and obviously display them in museums. And I mean, that was just, when I read that, I was like, oh my goodness, I love that. Also too, I love the fact that in the back of the book there is a glossary, some historical words that were used during that time. For example, like the big house, that's the slave owner's home. This one I didn't know. Dear means expensive. Obviously massa, that's a slave holder. So just things like that. And then the illustrations in this book is just fantastic. So I love this. Next is Never Caught, the story of Ona Judge. Now, she actually was the slave of George and Martha Washington. She actually was going to be a gift to Martha's granddaughter, and Martha's granddaughter was known just to be evil. So what she did is she literally escaped. But the Washingtons, they knew where she was, and they didn't, basically bring her back to, their home in Philadelphia. They literally just kind of let her go. They sent like letters and things persuading her to come back, but she was like, yeah, no. So she literally lived her life as a fugitive slave, but was never caught. So, I mean, this story, no one really talks about it. No one really knows it. And although this is a, a children's book or a YA, young adult middle grade book, I really did enjoy this. I learned a lot because I did not know anything about her. And the fact, it just amazes me how they knew where she was and they didn't like bring her back. Next is The Great Escape. This is 4 slave narratives. This actually is a Barnes&Noble's edition. We have William Wells Brown, narrative of William Wells Brown, a fugitive slave, that was published in 1848. We have Henry Box Brown, narrative of Henry Box Brown, that was published in 1849. We also have another book by him, and it's narrative of the life of Henry Box Brown, published in 1851. And then lastly, we have William Craft, Running 1,000 Miles from Freedom, and that was published in 1860. So I really love the Barnes & Noble's editions, and this was fantastic. Like I said, you get 4 stories in one. And then lastly, this is fantastic. This is called The 100 Amazing Facts About the Negros. And this is by Henry Louis Gates Jr. I love this because this has everything. For example, for Juneteenth, I did not know, in celebration of Juneteenth, a lot of the former slaves ate desserts and food that were red, and that was to commemorate the blood that was shed during slavery. Didn't know that, but of course, by getting this, I was able to, find that information and learn about it. This is amazing. Like I said, this has things that you don't even know about. Like, I didn't know that there was a second Middle Passage. Who was the first Black president in North America? Did Lincoln really free the slaves? Just everything. I mean, my goodness, this is a treasure. I would advise everyone, to get this and read this because you really do learn a lot. So yeah, guys, that's all I have. I just wanted a quick, video, obviously in celebration of Juneteenth. And yeah, that's all I have for you guys. So I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.